With a towering, strong, muscular form, a grey beard, curly hair, and a scepter in hand, the Greek god Zeus is one of the most universally famous Greek gods. Indeed, from his incredible supernatural powers such as shapeshifting, his mighty conquests as he rose to power, and of course, his famed lust after goddesses and mortals alike, Zeus is quite the myth and legend in all forms. Numerous versions of his reign and exploits do exist, but there are common ones that are hard to miss. Perhaps you've heard of some, and others in this list might fascinate you. Well, you know how intriguing some mythologies can get. Zeus is no different. Here are some 15 quick facts about Zeus. In ancient Greek religion, Zeus is the chief deity and ruler of all gods and mankind. He ruled as king on Mount Olympus, which is the highest point in Greece. Mount Olympus was the home of the Greek gods, and the former temple of Olympian Zeus in Athens was dedicated to him. Its construction began in the 6th century and was only completed 638 years later. It was the largest in all of Greece, but after a barbarian invasion in 267 AD, it fell into ruin. Its remains are visible to date. Zeus is associated with many symbols, including thunder or lightning bolts, a bull, and an eagle. In ancient Greece, he is the sky and thunder god who also controlled the weather. According to Greek legend, he received a thunderbolt as a show of gratitude from Argus, one of the Cyclopes he frees from captivity by Uranus just before the War of the Titans. He had a golden eagle that he'd send on errands, including fetching mortals to serve as his cupbearer. Zeus is also said to have transformed himself into a bull when he raped Europa. Zeus was the youngest of 6 siblings. His Titan father Cronus, believing that one of his children would dethrone him, swallowed them to avert such a possibility. However, Zeus's mother Rhea sought help from Gaia, the mother of Cronus. Gaia directed her to go to Crete, where she gave birth to him. Gaia then took him to a cave, where another myth suggests that he was raised by nymphs. They fed him milk from the she-goat Amalthea. Rhea tricked Cronus into swallowing a stone wrapped in cloth, which he believed was his newborn son Zeus. Having escaped his father's merciless act, Zeus grew into a strong young man in the cave. Aware that his siblings Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades and Poseidon had been swallowed by their father, he was determined to rescue them. You see, even after being swallowed, they did not die. In any case, these were the offspring of gods. Zeus then disguises himself as a cupbearer and poisons his father, who then disgorges his 5 siblings and the stone. After rescuing his siblings, Zeus then goes to war against his father, in what is known as the War of the Titans, or War of the Gods. With Zeus leading the Olympians on one hand and his father Cronus leading the Titans, the war lasted 10 years with no conclusive winner. This is until Gaia counsels Zeus to release the 100-handers, which were massive giants imprisoned underground. They help him as he brings the Titans down, and Zeus takes over the rulership of the world with his brothers Poseidon and Hades. Poseidon takes the sea, Hades rules the underworld, and Zeus takes the sky. His show of power and heroism begins even before he ascends to power. He first challenged his father, Titan Cronus, and overthrew the Titan gods in the War of the Titans. Assuming his position on Mount Olympus, Zeus ruled over all other Greek gods and the entire human race. Interestingly, most Greek gods you've heard about are likely to have been his natural sons or goddesses, including Apollo, Artemis and Heracles, just to mention a few. Others, such as Poseidon and Hera, were his siblings. Nobody dared defy Zeus, whose rule was fierce and, although debatable, just. After defeating his Titan father Cronus, Zeus married Metis, an Oceanid nymph, and one of the daughters of Titans Oceanus and Tethys. Metis had helped Zeus free his siblings by giving him a special drug to poison his father with. However, Zeus would soon swallow her whole after receiving a prophecy from Gaia that she'd bear a son who would overthrow him. He then married his aunt, Themis. He would then marry his older sister Hera. Hera was Zeus's final wife. She was also his older sister. To woe her sister, he changed form into a cuckoo, and when she took the bird close to her, Zeus changed form again and took hold of her. She had resisted his advances for a long, but Zeus promised to marry her and cover her shame. His infidelity became a source of bitterness and revenge for Hera, who still stayed with him. Besides his 7 wives, Zeus had sexual relationships with immortals and mortals alike. While married to Hera, he is said to have had affairs outside the marriage. Some of the said mortals include Semele, Lo, Europa, and Leda. According to a Greek myth, he also had romantic relations with a young male named Ganymede, whom Homer in the Iliad describes as the loveliest born of the race of mortals. Although not for the best reasons, Zeus could easily transform himself into an animal or a human-looking being. Often he did this to deceive his desired mortals, whom he would then take advantage of to gratify his lustful wants. For example, he took the form of a swan to get close to Leda, the daughter of the Aetolian king, Theseus. In seducing the Phoenician princess Europa, he turned himself into a white bull and mixed with her father's herd. When she spotted it and climbed on its back, Zeus abducted her, running into the water and swimming to the island of Crete. Zeus was known for his unpredictable bouts of anger, in which he would often shoot thunderbolts across the sky. When the Titan Prometheus tricked Zeus by allowing humans to keep fat for themselves while burning sacrifices and offering the gods bones, Zeus banned the use of fire by humans. He knew that without fire, humans would not survive for long. Some accounts describe his 2 servants as force and violence, which is not surprising. Remember Zeus's first wife Metis, the one he swallowed in fear of a child being born to dethrone him? Well, turns out Metis was already pregnant when he swallowed her. Athena, the soon-to-be-born child, sprouted from Zeus's forehead. She became his favorite child and even shares the thunderbolt and eagle in her representations. Zeus was known to mete out incredibly merciless punishments. After he banned the use of fire by humans, Prometheus stole fire from him and gave it to the humans. Zeus chained him up and sentenced his liver to be eaten by an eagle daily. The liver would then grow back at night, ensuring that Prometheus would suffer eternally. Heracles would later free him. With the help of his brother Poseidon, god of the sea, Zeus also sent a great flood, enraged by the human sacrifices and other evils of man. Dating back to 776 BC, ancient Olympic Games were held in honor of the Olympian god Zeus. The Greeks gave them this mythological origin, and the games also featured religious celebrations such as the offering of sacrifices. They were held every 4 years in ancient Greece, and even after Greece came under Roman rule in the 2nd century BC, they continued. The exact reasoning behind the mythological tie is indefinite, but according to the Greek historian Pausanias narrates that 4 brothers of the mythical male race, Dactyl, would race at Olympia to entertain the newborn Zeus. It is also tied to the belief that Olympian gods used to engage in athletic games such as wrestling and running. The Iliad is an ancient Greek epic poem about the Trojan War. Zeus plays a big role in the battle over the city of Troy by the Greeks. He is mentioned in several sections of the Iliad. In Book 4, he promises his wife Hera that he'll destroy the city of Troy when the war ends. In Book 7, he, assisted by his brother Poseidon, destroys the Achaeans, Greeks' fortress. In Book 20, Zeus allows the other gods to help their preferred sides in the war.